The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hi, I'm Gail Devins, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Kathy Endriunas. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Gail.
Thank you so much for coming and everything. I really appreciate it. Kathy has an incredible story to talk about and a request. This is about her son, Jeffrey Endriunas, who really needs a kidney, right, Kathy?
Yes, he does.
He really needs one. And so before we talk about that, I'd like to talk a little about Jeffrey, right? So he's a native of Easton.
Yes.
He was born here, raised here. And tell me a little bit about him and just how he has been involved in Easton.
Right.
And something like that. And I understand he's 34 years old.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
A graduate of Oliver Ames High School. Yeah, I know, hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and my son and Kathy's son, best friends, and did a lot together growing up, skiing, and so we know each other very well.
A lot of good times.
A lot of good times. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say about Jeffrey?
Well, Jeffrey, as you said, is 34 now. He loves Easton, has grown up in Easton. His dad is a native of Easton. Yep. Walter, and you know, he has enjoyed living here. He was in Easton Youth Soccer, graduated from Oliver Ames High School in 2009. He was a Eagle Scout with Troop 42 in Easton, along with Bradford.
Yeah.
And he went to college at Salve Regina and graduated and works for his dad's company. Unfortunately, now he's not well enough to really work that much. He's suffering from very close to end-stage kidney disease.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did Jeffrey actually get this disease? What happened? What is it?
Jeffrey has a disease, a genetic disease called Alport syndrome, which unfortunately is transferred through families. It's an X-linked mutation on a chromosome, and it transfers from mother to son, and then sons, transfer it, and it's just gone on. And we, as young mothers, really did not have the education or the information at the time. Genetic testing wasn't really available. We weren't told to have that done at the time, and unfortunately, I have passed the gene on to Jeffrey. And it's a disease that progresses over time. The kidney becomes not able to filter the toxins and waste or control blood pressure at a certain age. And it's actually more drastic in men versus women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Jeffrey right now is in stage 4.
Which means what?
Well, he's at 18% kidney function right now.
Out of what?
Out of 100.
Oh, really? 18.
Yeah, that's stage 4. Now, 15% is end-stage kidney disease, and that is at 15%. So we don't know how long, it will be before he is recommended by his nephrologist for kidney transplant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so difficult
It
on
is.
not only him, but you as his mother.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to see your son, we only want the best for our kids. Health and wellness and everything, and to see this. And I do have to commend you for all the research you've done. You've gone on the walks for the disease, the Alport syndrome. You've done all that. Yet you get to a point where, okay, now we need to start reaching out to people.
Right. Yes.
So what is it then? So he is in need of a kidney from a donor.
Yes.
Okay.
From a living donor.
From a living donor.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason being that Jeffrey has a nephrologist at Tufts Medical Center in Boston, and he has been accepted onto the cadaver or deceased persons list.
Okay.
The thing about that is that, number one, it can take from 4 to 10 years to receive a cadaver kidney.
Even when you're on the list?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
because there's over 90,000 people in the United States alone that are in need of a kidney.
You're kidding.
So the wait is really long. The clock is ticking.
Yeah.
But the problem, again, waiting for a cadaver kidney is that the person would probably have to go on dialysis until a kidney became available, which is really detrimental to the person's health. You know,
So
I
you're
would hate to
saying-
see Jeffrey on dialysis.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. So dialysis, actually, you think, oh, someone's on dialysis, oh, that's, oh, good, they're going to be fine. But so tell me,
Well, I mean, dialysis is a
doesn't-
life-saving treatment. You know, it's not a cure, obviously, but it's not really what you would prefer, for your child or
Sure.
for anyone, really, because it's very difficult on the body. It places a lot of stress on the heart and the vascular system
Oh, I didn't know that.
over time. And the person has to be, at a facility 3 days out of the week for 4 to 5 hours. They're attached to a machine, and they have to redo your veins and things like that. So
Really?
it's not an optimal choice.
Yeah, right.
It is a life-saving treatment if necessary, but there are other options, other much better options that we're hoping to get.
Yeah. Mainly a live donor.
Right, a living donor, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Living donor.
What we would like to get, and what we're really reaching out to the larger community, friends, neighbors, is for someone to, if they're interested, consider being a living donor. And that would be just such a wonderful gift to Jeffrey and to us. He's the joy of our life.
Yes.
We don't want to see him.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
We don't
very-
want to see him going through dialysis if not necessary.
Right, absolutely.
So we want to
Absolutely.
reach out and ask people if they could, consider being a live donor.
Yeah.
And I do have a lot of information about that, if you'd like me to share that.
I would love that. And
Okay.
before we go on, I
Yes.
just have a quick question.
Sure.
So someone out there says, yeah, I have 2 kidneys. I
Right.
think I can give one up. I mean, is that true? I mean,
Absolutely.
can you live a healthy life with 1 kidney?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So what we're looking for is what we call a preemptive kidney transplant, which would mean that a living donor could come forth and contact Tufts Medical and fill out a quick questionnaire.
Okay.
Even if they don't have O-positive blood, which Jeffrey has.
So
you
he's
do-
O positive.
Yes, you do
Okay.
need to have matching blood type to receive a kidney.
Okay.
However, nowadays they have other means of giving people kidneys, and it's called the Share Pair Program. And what that is you go on the website at the hospital and they give you the other options. The option is that the person, it's computer generated. So what they do is even if a person wanted to help Jeffrey by giving him a kidney, they could, the transplant team would go on the compute, would contact the company that does this, or the hospitals that do this, and it's computer generated, so they would find someone that's in need of a kidney that would match this person's kidney.
Okay.
And then because of that, Jeffrey would be taken off the cadaver deceased persons list and put on the living donor list. And when a kidney came in from someone that did the same thing and matched Jeffrey, he would immediately go to the top of the list and receive that kidney.
Okay, so he
So
goes
this
to the
could-
top of the list
Yes.
because you've donated your kidney, even though you're not the same blood type.
Right.
You've donated for someone else.
Yes.
And because of that, he now
Yep.
gets, okay.
Exactly. So
right. Interesting.
they would find a kidney by the computer.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they can
Really?
do.
By the computer?
That would match him. Right. It's computer generated. So they're
Really?
looking at kidneys all over New England.
Really?
That people have done the pair share program. Wow. And when a kidney came in that would match Jeffrey, he would get that kidney.
Okay.
So even though it wouldn't be directly from someone with O-positive blood, say a neighbor wanted to donate their kidney, it would still be from someone that has the same blood type that would match Jeffrey and be compatible, and he would get that kidney. And that could shorten the wait list by years. I mean, it could be a year wait, it could be 6 months,
Really?
and it would keep him off dialysis because the idea is to keep him going as long as possible, not on dialysis, until a live kidney is available, if possible.
Right.
So that's why we're reaching out to the community and to friends, family. Unfortunately, a lot of my family have Alport syndrome, so it really reduces the amount of people that can donate in my family.
Right.
Some are
Makes
too
sense.
young. You need to be 18 and sometimes 21 to donate a kidney.
Okay, that's good
And the
to
other
know.
thing is some of the people in my family have health issues which would, prevent them from donating. So,
Right, okay,
but I would
right.
like to give more information about the actual, donor process.
Yeah,
if
let's
that's
do that
okay.
because I'm very interested in seeing actually how you go about doing this.
Right. So the process of kidney donation really just begins with a simple blood test.
Oh,
Yep, that's all it would
that's
be.
easy.
If people are interested in checking out the website at Tufts, it would be tuftsmedicine.org,
Okay.
and they could put in the search bar transplants, and all the information about kidney transplants would come up, and
Oh, that's
all the
great.
information that a person would need that is at all interested in helping Jeffrey, that they would want to know. They can scroll down, and there's a booklet there that describes the entire process. And also there's an online questionnaire. If someone is very interested and would like to reach out and help Jeffrey right away, they can just go to www.livingdonortufts.org, and that would bring them to the online questionnaire page. And they would simply fill it out. It takes 15 minutes. The donor team at Tufts Medical in Boston receives it, and then they get back to you. And so really the process starts with just an initial blood test, and then they would fill you in on everything else.
Oh, okay. And
They would explain next steps for you.
And so
Right.
in applying, do you put Jeffrey's name on there?
Yes.
Or what
There is
information is needed for that?
exactly. There is a spot if you're interested, I believe, in doing the paired kidney exchange program. I believe you do need to have his name and birth date.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and his name is Jeffrey W. Endriunas, and his birth date is 1/20/91, January 20th, 1991.
And Jeffrey is J-E.
Jeffrey.
Okay, because that can go certain
Yes.
ways, right? With a G or
Absolutely.
E-R-Y or so it's J-E.
Jeffreyw.
W.
And Endriunas is Endriunas.
So like Endriunas.
Endriunas, right, exactly.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Yes. So let's see. The thing about dialysis is, and the reason, as a mother, as parents, and even Jeffrey, he certainly doesn't want to be on dialysis if he doesn't have to. Really, dialysis only does 30% of the work of a kidney. And like I said, it can be a burden on the heart, the blood vessels. You're hooked up to machines. There's some threats, fear of infection, things like that. So that's why it's very hard on the body. So if we can, the best case scenario is this preemptive kidney transplant, which would mean he would get the kidney, a live kidney from a live person, prior to needing dialysis. I mean, if necessary. Sometimes a person might have to go on dialysis for a couple of rounds before they get the kidney. Right.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is prevent him
Long
having
term.
to wait for a cadaver kidney for 6 years and being on dialysis for a very long time.
Right, yeah.
And the website at Tufts goes into exactly, the procedure. It's very easy, actually. I don't want to make light of it, but I mean, it really is an easy surgery for a donor.
Is it?
Very easy.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
It is. It's
Really?
medicine nowadays. Maybe 25, 30 years ago, the donor had maybe a larger incision, but now the donor goes in. It's laparoscopic, so they make 2 little slits.
Yeah.
They take the kidney from the donor, and the donor is in the hospital 1 day. Generally,
Really?
Generally, they're up and walking that same day.
Really? Wow.
There's an extremely high success rate for living donor kidneys transplants, especially Tufts Medical is above the national average of success.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's really good. And then everything for the donor is covered by Jeffrey's insurance.
So Jeffrey's insurance
Yes.
covers the donor?
Yes, there are no costs to
No
the
matter
donor.
what the donor's insurance is?
No.
That
Jeffrey's
really?
insurance covers everything for the donor.
Is
It's all
that
covered.
right?
And then if there were any other costs for the donor, whether it be transportation or missing work, there are programs that cover, and it's actually, laws have been passed recently to pay for lodging if necessary and missed work for a donor.
That's
But even
amazing.
if those programs didn't work out for a donor, we, his parents, would pay for everything.
So you would actually pay that?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know, the main goal here is to get my son a living donor kidney.
Yeah.
You know, he's a young man. We want him to have a great future.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
live healthy again.
Yes.
Right now, and he would be here, but he's very lethargic, being
Yeah,
at stage
okay.
4, almost stage 5. He's very lethargic, not feeling well.
Okay.
And so, it's really hard to see. But he's being strong, doing the best he can, and we're just going to push on, be hopeful.
Yes. I know you mentioned genetic. It's genetic,
Yes.
right? So is there anybody in your family that has actually received a kidney because of this? And how are they doing?
Well, my nephew Rob, he is 56 now. When he was 18, his kidney failed earlier in life. He received a kidney from his father, but his father was young at the time.
Okay.
And he received a kidney from his dad, and that kidney lasted from when he was 18 till he was in his 50s. Wow. So that kidney lasted a long time.
Wow.
He needed a new kidney and recently received a cadaver kidney after being on dialysis.
Okay.
A form of dialysis that you can do at home through the stomach. It's called peritoneal. He was on that for a year and a half, and he did receive a cadaver kidney, and he's doing pretty well.
Wow, that's
Yes.
good.
And my other nephew, Stephen, he received a kidney from a neighbor.
Oh,
Yeah, they had very good friends, and the neighbor, she donated her kidney when he was 35, and he's in his 50s now, and he's doing great.
he's doing great.
Yeah, he's a dad. He's very
Really?
active. He can do everything. So the living donor kidney is
Fantastic.
just really essential to
Yeah.
Jeffrey being healthy again.
And the neighbor's doing well too, right?
Oh yeah, the
She's
neighbor's
fine.
doing fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The donation, the transplant donation team at Tufts, gets the referral from the person. They fill out the, saying, yes, I'd like to get the blood test at least.
Yep.
And then they call you, and then they tell you, you'll come in and have an evaluation. So
Okay.
they make sure that the donor is in really good health. They don't want any stress on the donor. There's
Okay,
no
good.
stress. Everything's confidential. The people, the recipients and the families do not ever know who has applied, who has inquired.
see, that's
It's very, very
interesting.
highly
Okay.
confidential, unless the
Interesting.
donor wanted to tell me.
Right.
Which they could. They could
Yeah.
email me
Okay.
and let me know, and I'd be willing to answer any questions that anyone had if they had any inkling of finding out about this.
So you're the contact person
Yes,
for Jeff.
Yes.
Right. So that he doesn't have to deal with.
Exactly.
He's dealing enough with the physical part of it. Right. And
Absolutely.
the mental part of it.
Right.
You're the contact person.
I am.
Okay.
My email is kaendrunas@gmail.com, and people can contact me through email anytime. I'd be happy to speak with you. We could even then talk on the phone.
Great.
But more about the donor,
Yeah.
I want to just make sure that people know that it is very safe for the donor. Like I said, the hospital, the team makes sure that the person is very healthy.
Good.
And that this would not be detrimental to them in any way. They check really everything. They do a urine test, they do a blood test, they do a chest X-ray. So there's one visit to the hospital that,
Okay, so
that a
it's one
person would
visit.
have to go to.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
to
good to
get
know.
some of these. I think they do an EKG.
Almost like a physical. Like
Yeah,
a physical type thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're very careful about about the donor to make sure that all will be well.
Yeah.
And the success rate is so high. It's like 90, almost 100%. The donor can live a perfectly healthy life with one kidney. They're, like I said, they're in the hospital one day. There's both recipient of a living donor and the donor can live very healthy, strong lives for the rest of their life. And all of the donors that I know that have donated in my family have continued to live very healthy, strong lives.
Still physical, like if they were a runner,
Absolutely.
they could still run.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All that swimming or whatever.
Everything.
Interesting.
Everything. And all of that information, again, is on the tuftsmedicine.org website.
Okay.
If you put
And then
in
you plug in transplant.
tuftsmedical.org,
Yep.
and then you go to the search bar and just put in transplants, and it will bring you, just scroll down to kidney transplants, and everything will come up, everything that you want to know about
Good
it.
to know. That's good to know.
Everything about the donor, the process, what happens after the surgery itself. If you scroll all the way down, there's like a 6-page little booklet you can look at that describes the actual kidneys, what the kidneys do, the procedure.
Yeah.
It's really great. I've been through all of that. And I know that the actual questionnaire only takes 15 to 20 minutes maximum to fill out.
Okay.
It's kind of general, and then they get back to you.
Then the phone call.
For more information. So,
okay. Great.
So, as a mom, and I'm sure a lot of parents know how it is when your child is ill.
Even if they just have a little
so
fever
devastating,
or something, right? They stub their toe.
Exactly.
I can't even imagine. This is, I
know. I can't believe it's come to this, really.
I
but
know. It's really,
nowadays there's more information out there for
Yes.
parents having children.
Okay.
There's genetic testing now, so parents, can get genetic testing if there's anything about their kidneys that they detect in the urine or blood. If there's anything like that, I do recommend, as a matter of fact, if parents do see that in their children, we weren't really pushed into getting genetic testing, but if any of that is in a child's urine, you really should take the next step. Genetic testing is usually covered by insurance, and I just recommend that people maybe talk to their doctor and get maybe some further testing, because if you can get treatment for children with Alports or some kidney diseases earlier, like blood pressure medication, you can protect the kidney, prolong damage to the kidney for a longer time.
Okay, so that's the reason for the genetic testing. Okay, that's good.
Yes, and also, we know that through the genetic testing, we know now that we do have a mutation on an X chromosome that prevents collagen from being developed around the kidney and in certain areas of the body, which has made the kidney less able to filter over time. So Jeffrey's kidney, unfortunately, has become scarred through 34 years of filtering waste and toxins, and now it's become pretty much unable to filter. But he's still not on dialysis yet. So
So basically, what we want the viewer to know is that you are here asking for a kidney for your son Jeffrey.
Yes.
And that all in all, it's a good procedure. It's not going to harm you. You can live your life, and we're here on this earth to help each other.
Yes.
And so I think that's very good. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
I mean, I just want to say, if there is anyone out there that would like to donate, help Jeffrey, it'd be great. Without a living donor, he can't survive. Without a cadaver kidney, he can't survive without a kidney, and I certainly don't want to see him on dialysis for a very long time. The hospital would never take a kidney from someone that they thought couldn't have a normal life after.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
They would never do that. They're very strict. So you can be assured that you would only be allowed, accepted to donate a kidney if they felt you were able to do that safely and able to completely live a normal life after.
Good.
And we just want to, Walter, my husband, and I, we just want to say, thank you for considering this. And if you could tell people, word of mouth is huge.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard stories of people just telling someone about this, and they've applied, and they've been the person that
Really?
gives the kidney. So
Wow.
if we can expand this to, people that Jeffrey knows in town, business people that know my husband,
Yeah.
even
Endriunas
people,
brothers.
Endriunas brothers, right?
Yep.
And also, Boy Scouts, his former classmates, anybody. If you could just spread the word that, our son Jeffrey needs a kidney to live.
And the best way is a live kidney
Yes.
versus a cadaver
Yes.
kidney.
Well, a living donor kidney, on average, lasts for minimum 15 years to 25 years to maybe 30.
Oh, okay.
A cadaver kidney, again, you're on the wait list for, 4 to 10 years. Hopefully, generally it's more like 5 to 6. But that would mean dialysis, because he
Right.
is going to hit end stage,
Right. Yeah.
at some point in the not so distant future.
Right.
And to live, he would have to be on dialysis.
Right.
But to prevent that, if there is a living donor, he would skip the dialysis and
Okay.
get the living kidney, which would, make him feel healthy immediately. Living kidneys work immediately when they
Wow.
put it into the person.
Really?
They work immediately. They function fantastic right away. Whereas a cadaver kidney, and God bless the people that donate their cadaver kidneys. I don't want to make light of that, because I'm a donor, but I can't give Jeffrey my kidney.
Right.
But I am an organ donor. I can give probably everything else.
Yeah.
But anyway, the cadaver kidney would take, a long time, and it doesn't kick in as well. My nephew Rob, who just received a cadaver kidney, it takes some time for it to really kick in fully,
Okay.
because it's from a deceased person.
Right.
And they don't last as long. They're about 10 years, give or take a year or two.
And a live kidney is
A
longer than
living
that.
donor kidney, live kidney lasts, depending on the age of the donor too,
Okay.
15, 20, 25,
Okay.
30 years.
That's nice.
And like I said, so if you don't have Jeffrey's blood type, O positive, you can still, if you really want to, if you're really considering this, you can still reach out to the hospital, and they will hook you up with all the information you need about the Pair Share Kidney Exchange Program, which works great. Another person would get your kidney, and Jeffrey would be at the top of the list and get a kidney that would match him via the computer,
All right.
because you did that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Again, he's the light of our life. He's our only child.
He's your only child. Yeah. 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 It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. And
I know it's you try to be strong,
yes,
but
which you have been. You've been
but it's
very
still
strong.
sad
Oh yeah. Yeah. It doesn't take.
to see him have to go through this.
Yes.
He's such a great young man.
He is. He really is.
He has studied hard. He's an Eagle Scout. He's great son, great family member. He's
Great sense of humor.
great sense of humor, as you might see in some of the pictures. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and thank God for his sense of humor, because really that is one thing that even now has been able to stay him up through this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His sense of humor,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it's hard though for the person when they get to a late stage. Depression does kick in.
Sure it does.
You
of
don't feel
course.
well,
Of
and
course.
it's very hard. So
I know when I don't feel
he
well, I'm
wants
not
to-
happy.
You're right,
You
and he
know,
wants to be
so-
strong like he used to be.
Yeah, of course.
And he can be, and he
Yeah.
will be,
Yes.
if he can get that living donor
Yeah.
kidney.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for opening up your heart to
Thank you.
us. Thank you for sharing this. It's so important.
you.
And please share this video
Right.
with people, and tell your neighbors, tell people, maybe consider yourself, because it's just so important. And as you learn from Kathy, that you can continue your life very well and healthy and doing all the things you love to do.
Right.
So thank you again so much.
Well, thank you, Gail. Thank
Yeah.
you for Adam and people here at the cable station.
Yep.
And
ECAT
also I
is
want to
very
thank
good.
people at the Alport Syndrome Foundation for all the research they're doing, and also the National Kidney Foundation, which I volunteer for, that are also working hard to find a cure, finally, for Alport syndrome.
Yeah.